A new Division I women's soccer poll has been released, and it goes as follows: Florida State with 8 first place votes, and nobody else have first place votes, by the way. Then it goes UCLA, North Carolina, Stanford, Texas Tech, Penn State, BYU, Clemson, Memphis, Arkansas, Notre Dame, Michigan State, South Carolina, Brown, Santa Clara, Wisconsin, Xavier, Arizona State, Nebraska, Pitt, Mississippi State. They were not even ranked last week. We're seeing ranked last week, and now they're ranked number 21. And St. Louis, USC, as University of Southern California, they dropped 11 spots to number 12 spots to number 23 now. Indiana dropped 5 spots to number 24 and tied at number 25. And I hate ties. Somebody get a clear who's ranked and who's not. Alabama dropped to number 16, and Duke is now receiving a number tied 25th, and they were receiving votes last week. So, receiving vote teams are like Georgia, Georgetown, Gonzaga, Texas, Utah Valley University, and Wake Forest. I'm also going to go over like the RPI. And this is up to games that played on Sunday, by the way, and not like Monday like the Big 12 just had last night. So, just got to consider that for a second. And it's important because it does impact the bubble teams and where you potentially go. And like, are you in or are you out? Or it also affects teams that could potentially host up to Elite Eight. I mean, it's the truth. Now, the top 16 on that, on the RPI: Florida State, Penn State, BYU, North Carolina, Texas Tech, UCLA, Brown, Stanford, Princeton, Clemson, Notre Dame, Arkansas, Georgetown, St. Louis, Georgia, Mississippi State. But I would worry if you're like 38 per se to 60. But even at 60, I'm not sure you're going to even get on. I'm only saying 38 because TCU did lose last night, and their RPI is probably dropping. If they would have done it yesterday on the RPI, they probably dropped. I mean, TCU, Pepperdine, Milwaukee, Michigan, Gonzaga, Texas A&M, LSU, Providence, Lamar, UConn, Georgia Southern, Liberty, UCF, Iowa, Cal, Vanderbilt, James Madison, Texas, SMU, Dayton, Old Dominion, Towson, and UL Monroe. But I will say about Texas, their RPI has got to be higher now. I would assume it would be, as in better, like closer to 40. I mean, like, towards that direction, and not like dropping like down to the 60s. If they would have lost, they would have been in that case. And of course, if you're like in a one big conference, you cannot lose your conference tournament or regular season tournament. Of course, that is if you even have a conference tournament. First of all, you can't have bad losses. You got to win as much as possible. I mean, that's important not just for those bubble teams, but for the best teams in the RPI wise. Of course, if you're like Texas Tech, for example, let's just say that. I'm just saying that because of one reason. Right now, they might not have a good enough RPI to be a 1 seed. They have a chance to be a 1 seed in the NCAA tournament, like for their region. I mean, they have potential. They have to win the Big 12 tournament. I mean, that's the truth. And I think it might come down like BYU and Texas Tech for that spot, possibly. But does the Big 12 even get 2 1 seeds out of this? I don't know. Because the ACC is strong with Florida State and North Carolina. Of course, Penn State is a good team, I mean, too. So, yeah. And now I'm going to go over like the top 10 in Division I women's soccer according to me. And some teams outside looking at it. The top 10 goes as follows. And it's very similar to the poll. Florida State, UCLA, Stanford, North Carolina, Texas Tech, Penn State, BYU, Clemson, Memphis, Arkansas. Outside teams looking at like Notre Dame, Michigan State, Brown, Santa Clara, South Carolina, Wisconsin. And I'm going to go mention some top 25 games that are regular season games and not conference tournament games. Got to keep that in mind. Number 4 Stanford at number 23 USC. Number 8 Clemson at number 11 Notre Dame. Number 4 Stanford at number 2 UCLA. Number 21 Mississippi State at number 10 Arkansas. And definitely is going to affect things in the rankings between Stanford and UCLA. I mean, and not only that, the RPI is going to be affected too. So I know the Big 10, the Big 12, the ACC, A10, SEC, Big East, Ivy League, and AAC does have conference tournaments, but not the Pac-12 nor the West Coast Conference. Of course, there might be other conferences that don't have it. I'm just naming the examples that the teams that were in the top 25, by the way. So I know there are got to be other conferences that also have conference tournaments as well. So I'm just saying that. I'm just wanted to just make that clear on some of these teams that are ranked, in case you don't see ranked versus ranked matchups per se. So anyways, if you like this content, like and subscribe, and see you guys are on the road to 600 subscribers. Of course, the ultimate goal is 1,000 or more, so I can make money off this. Of course, liking the video, commenting the video really helps the channel so more people could see it. Like with the number of views going up, and it increases to the point that more people are going to watch. And if you're watching and not subscribed, please subscribe. Of course, and hit the notification bell as well. If you're subscribed and didn't hit the notification bell, hit the notification bell. Of course, sharing the video really helps too, so more people could see it that way too. So thanks again for watching, and that's all I gotta say about this. And of course, we know the NCAA tournament's coming around the corner. I mean, within the next 2 weeks. And I'm gonna go over like the NCAA tournament, what happens on the first round only. They're gonna have in the first round, then second, the scores up to the Final Four. Then I'm going to describe the national championship, or maybe I could even do the Final Four if I feel inclined. I'm probably going to just go over like what happened and what minute did these Final Four teams score. Of course, if there's penalty kicks, there's penalty kicks, and who got won the battle between those two. So that's all, and that's just future content right there, by the way.